Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live broadcast of Adults Only. I am your big brother Jahi, and the brother you see to my right is Chazz. How you doing, Chazz?
Doing good in yourself. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm doing well. And this broadcast can be seen every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Time and 7 o'clock Eastern. And Chazz, we always talking about subjects. We always bringing up subjects that's relevant. And tonight's subject is really, really important. It's very interesting because we don't like to talk about this discussion. And when we do talk about it, we talk about it in a negative light, or we just have a terrible outlook on it. But it's something that happens to all of us, no matter what we think. We're all going to age, man. And we should be proud of that as opposed to being sad and sorry. So you think that we should deal with these points that we're going to be dealing with when it comes to age?
Yeah, and just to clarify, because like you said, a lot of people look at it as something that's negative or depressing in its life. If you even get to live to that age, because you look on the news, you see all the time, people's lives are getting cut short at 20, 30, sometimes teenagers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Okay, so having said that, let's jump into this because we have a lot of pictures to look at, images. We have a lot of words to talk about. So let's take our time, but let's go and deal with what is called the erroneous reasons why people are afraid of aging. In other words, Chaz, once I hit this next screen, you could take it away because I know you love to get us going. But the word erroneous means these are unjustifiable reasons. These are reasons that are not true. These are lies that we've told ourselves when it comes to getting older. And we've got to stop that, Chaz. We've got to set the record straight. So let's start off by talking about the first erroneous reason or the first lie that people say about aging.
Life ends when you get old. It doesn't. Like I just mentioned, if you do live to be 60, 70, 80, be thankful. Yes, your health may be a little bit bad. Yes, you may not be able to do the things that you used to when you were younger, but you should still be happy. And I'm looking at my notes here. Some people get fearful of these things because they fear that their looks start to change a little bit. They think that the end is near. And then also the unknown. You don't know what's going to happen when you get older. So you have to, like I said, take the bitter with the sweet, and everything is not doom and gloom when you get older. And here's the thing: if you do live or have to go to a nursing home and stuff like that, these are things that make people, like I said, that make them not want to get older because they think they're automatically going to be, sentenced to a nursing home.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of our mindsets says life does not end when you get old, because we can debunk that now, and we can see how we debunk that by looking at this here point.
Aging doesn't mean the end. It often brings more wisdom, freedom, and time for relaxation. Let me see. Give me 1 second. So I got a little note here.
Okay.
Let me see.
Go ahead. I'm looking at your notes, but yeah, because aging doesn't mean the end, but that's what we put in our minds, man. This is why we're afraid to leave here, because we don't understand the importance of aging. That's something that we should look forward to. But because of all of our problems, all of our bills, all of our family issues, all of our personal issues, we don't seem to look at that the right way, Chaz. And we definitely have to look at it the right way. Now, you have something on your notes?
It's just real quick. I was going to say you can get more freedom through reduced social pressures, increased self-acceptance, and the ability to live authentically. That's basically mean live for yourself. You don't have to worry about people saying this or saying that, society pressures, or always thinking about somebody's watching you, things like that. You can say, you know what, I live to be 60 or 70. This is the life that I've accumulated, and I'm going to try to make the best out of it that I can while I'm still living, because like I said, nobody's promised tomorrow.
Yeah, and when we get older, it says it should bring more wisdom. But in many instances, it brings foolishness. It brings nonsense. And I'm not cracking on us as we get older, but it just seems like the older we get, as my Aunt Ethel said when she passed away years ago, but she used to tell me this, and I just thought she was hard, but I always say this on the broadcast. But she used to tell me all the time, the older we get, the stupider we get. And I thought she was being mean, but she's right, Chaz, in many of our lives. Instead of us being wise, taking it easy, relaxing, we get caught up in a lot of things that just messes our mind up. And I want you to read this, and then what we'll do is we'll go to some of those who have joined us to welcome them. But let's look at this, Chaz, and just tell us what this is all about.
Not everyone is given the chance to grow old, so appreciate every single day of your life. I literally just said that a few minutes ago, and you should be thankful. You're like they always say, and I know this sounds cliche, that your circumstance could always be a lot worse, and it could. I mean, be thankful for the things you do get, because once again, you're not promised tomorrow, and you don't know when your time on this earth is over with. So when you get older, if you live to be that age, be thankful for it.
Yeah, we should appreciate it, man. You know, we're so ungrateful, and I'm talking about us as older adults. We're so ungrateful. We don't take time out to, as they say, smell the roses. We don't take time out and just sit back and just take in a few deep breaths and say, I'm so glad that I am who I am. No
Right.
matter if we're 40, 50, 67, it doesn't matter, but we should reflect and appreciate every single day of our lives instead of fearing life, man. Afraid,
Right.
of the
Every
the
single.
consequences, or afraid of all of the things that we think may happen to us, which we don't know. But again, we should just take it easy, man, and enjoy life is what I'm trying to say, Chaz. Just we should enjoy life.
Yeah, we really should. Like I keep saying that, I don't want to sound like a broken horse, but you see all the time on the news, you see all the time on YouTube, all these news feeds where teenagers, 15, 16, 17, losing their lives. And it's just, nobody saw this coming. And I'm not praising that. I'm just saying it goes to show you how you have to appreciate life, because you just never know how it may end. It may not end well for some of us. Sister Marie Fires in here. She says, Hotel, we appreciate her. Brother Ray fires in here. He says, "Hey y'all, what's up, Ray? We appreciate you for logging in."
Yeah, Chaz, because I think this discussion, we need to continue to slow it down, and let's talk about another erroneous reason that people are afraid to get old. This is what they think.
You can't learn anything new when you're old, and that's not true. You first of all, you can't be stubborn, because some of us are stubborn when we get up in age. We don't want to learn things a new way. We've learned things our own way for so many years, and when someone tries to teach us a new concept or a new philosophy, we push back at it. But if your mind is open and you're willing to do the work, you can learn new things. So I totally, like you said, I debunk and disagree with this note on the screen.
Yeah, and this is a bold-faced lie. This is a bold-faced lie about aging, because here's the reason.
The brain remains capable of learning and growing at any age. And I'm looking down here because I jotted a couple of things. And shout out to this brother. He looks like he's doing some work in a school. He seems like he's still firing away. So that's not true about that note that's on the screen. And also, as long as you're reading, as long as you're doing exercises, as long as you're doing crossword searches, doing things to keep the mind going, your mind will be sharp. But it goes back to what you're putting in your mind and what you're doing with it. Because if you're putting foolishness in it, like
Yeah.
drugs, stuff like that, it's gonna, tamper it with your mind.
And see, we should be encouraging those of us who are older, but we don't encourage us. What we do is we make it fearful. We make it seem like, well, we're afraid to go beyond the room because something is going to get us. And I think that comes with a mindset that have been basically tampered with all of
Yeah.
our lives, and now we don't want to get old. And I know we're going to get into some of the things that we do to try to stay young, but yet those are not the things that actually help us stay young. I mean, this
Right.
guy, as you said, he's doing something, he's writing something, so he hasn't given up on learning. But many of us, we just don't want to get old because we want to turn back the hands of time. You're not turning back the hands of time. It is
Yeah.
what it is, man.
Yeah, and I keep saying over and over, it's important, not that you got to read 24/7, but you have to do something that's keeping your mind sharp. Because if you're just not doing anything but watching TV, laying down, laying around smoking, laying down smoking, you're going to get something bad happen to you. So that's why it's important to keep your mind sharp, do things to keep it going, so you don't, just rot away like an old noodle.
Yeah, true.
Letter C, all people are sick and weak. I totally disagree with that as well. There are a lot of elders who have brilliant minds. Some of their bodies, like I said, could be giving them certain capabilities where they can't do certain things because it may be an operation or something like that. But I totally disagree. There are a lot of elders who are sharp,
Yeah.
firing away like the gentleman we just saw on the screen. So it just depends. And like I said, if our bodies are setting us back a little bit, I understand that. but I disagree. All people are not sick and weak.
Yeah, we really ought to be ashamed of ourselves how we act. We don't like to have this discussion. We don't even know how to encourage one another. See, and this is why it is the way it is. This is not true. All old people are not sick and weak. But that's the ideology that we have come across. That's why we're afraid. We're afraid to get old because we think that we're just going to be sick and we're going to be weak. Now, I'm going to debunk this, and then we'll talk about some of the reasons why some people are actually old and they're sick and weak. But let's talk about the debunking that first.
While health challenges can increase with age, many seniors stay physically active and mentally sharp. That's absolutely what I just said a few minutes ago. As long as you're exercising, doing a little bit as you can, reading, doing crosswords, these are things that's going to help you stay alert. And I know some of the poisons and stuff that we're ingesting throughout the air and stuff like that, but you can kind of fight back against that as long as you're staying active, reading. You can fight back against most of that. And I was going to say this previously on the other point. There are some elders that are still driving. Now, their driving may not be the best like ours. I know a few elders that are driving themselves back and forth to the store, back and forth home. So I totally disagree with that. But yes.
Yeah, like me. Yeah, like me. Yeah, I mean, driving back and forth. But the thing of it is, here's what I want to talk about. We debunked this one about all old people are sick and weak, because while health challenges, they can increase, and they're going to increase when you get older. But many seniors stay physically active and mentally sharp. Some people, they work out, Chazz. Yeah. All old people are not sick and weak, you know. But if you lived a life as a young man, all you've done was drink, eat food, eat grease, eat salt, eat sugar, never worked out, sit around, watch sports, drink beer, go to concerts and all these things. Of course, the body's going to break down with high blood pressure, diabetes. But if you take care of yourself, that means go to the gym or do something around the house. Chazz, walking is free, man, but it's going to cost you sacrifice. And I don't want to leave this point right now because I've got more to say about this, because this is what we think of our elderly. But if you look at most of us, we don't have the right mindset about aging. And we have to do this broadcast because a lot of us want to avoid this. We are shaking in our boots. When we turn 35, 40, 45, then the fear comes in because we're afraid. We've seen so many people that are old and sick and weak, and a lot of people have reasons for that. But a lot of us bring that on ourselves because we don't do anything when we're younger. See, we want to dye our hair. Yeah, we want to look young. You know, we want to wear certain clothes to make ourselves look young, but we don't want to work out. See, that's what's going to help you. We don't want to eat the right things. We don't want to drink the right things. So this is really messed up because this is how we all feel, many of us, I should say. And we just debunked that by saying health challenges, they do increase with age. I can't do what I used to do when I was 25 or 30, but I can do something, Chazz.
Yeah, and you're right. Like I said, I see a lot of elders at my gym early in the morning. They're barely getting around, but they have the right mentality. They're doing a little bit on the treadmill. They're walking around, and I politely, talk to them and try to encourage them with things like that. But it's inspiring to see a 67 or 80-year-old man or woman trying to do the best that they can to stay active. And that's a wonderful sight for those that are doing that.
And I think a lot of it has to do with our mindset. Our minds are so messed up because we don't believe what we're putting on this screen. We're given what is called encouragements. We're trying to help people. But in our minds, we feel, though, when we get old, this next point, this is how we feel.
Letter D, old people are useless. That's not true. Like I said, there are some elders who are tutors. There's some elders who do a lot of community work. But to say that our elders are useless because they're not young, they're not jumping around in clubs and stuff like we used to when we were younger, that's totally inaccurate.
It really is. And it's an indictment upon our mindset. Many of us hide behind our cell phones and we watch broadcasts and television shows and go to the movies. But in our heart, man, we are shaking in our boots because we are afraid. This broadcast is talking about how we as a people, we need to stop lying to our elders and telling them that old people are useless. We're going to debunk that now, Chaz, by saying something like this.
Aging doesn't take away a person's value. Older adults serve as mentors, caregivers, good listeners, and volunteers.
Yeah, they really do. Look at this picture. You see, this is what I'm saying. We've got to get ourselves out, man. We've got to get out of this mindset of when we reach a certain age, we're retired. You know, and that's the mindset we have. We work for many years. We get older. Many of us call ourselves retiring, and we sit around and get fat. Let's be honest. They say what they say. They say black don't crack, but I say black don't crack, but black gets fat. I mean, it's true. Black doesn't crack, but black gets fat. And that's how it is, because we're not doing anything. But look at this lady, man. She's she's doing something that's energetic. You know, she's helping kids across the street. She's making some income. You know, she looks like she's got to be in shape to walk back and forth all day, back and forth, go back in the evening time. We got to start dealing with people, Chaz, and quit letting us off the hook, because we have messed up our mindset when it comes to our elderly, our aging people. We should be having the most fun in our lives. Now, I don't mean swinging from chandeliers and all of that, but Chaz, something is wrong with us mentally when it comes to the way we look at those who are older than us, or what we say of the elderly.
Brother Ray fires in here. He says, I might be rusty, but I am a battleship. Okay.
See, that's the mindset to have. That's the mindset to have right there.
Sister Nikita fires in here. She says, hello, family. Hey, Sister Nikita. She also fires back here and says, we need our elders. Yes, because some of them are lonely. They don't have that many people that contact them or check on them or actually go, you know, like I said, shame on me. I don't do this as well either. But just contacting them, they need people to make them feel good as well, because they're humans. But to the sister on the screen, like you said, she's in shape. She's helping these children. Bless her heart for still having the right mindset, because she could say, you know what, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to sit back, lay back at home and watch TV all day. But she's actually been active in the community, and it takes a strong mind to do that. So shout out to the sister helping these kids at school.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shout out to Sister Nikita, because I know Sister Nikita. She's a beautiful woman, has a beautiful family, a wonderful husband, fantastic children. And I've spoken with her on many occasions. And I must say, this is one of the wisest statements that she's ever written. She's a poet, and she does a lot. And not all that poetry is fantastic. She's written a book and all of that, which is great. But this statement right here, in a nutshell, is what it's all about. She says, we need our elders. Most of us don't think about our elders. This is why people aren't putting things on the comments on the screen right now, because they look at our elders like trash. You throw them away. And some of our elders feel that way. But look what she says. She says, with 4 words in a nutshell, what we should be talking about. She says, we need our elders. And I think, Chaz, that's some of the most beautiful language that I have read. You see, she's not cursing the elders out. She's not dogging them out. She's not denigrating them. She says we need our elders. I haven't seen that in many years. I got to keep going, Chaz, but I wish I could keep that comment up for about 25 or 40 years. This is problematic, man.
Yeah. Brother Ray fires in behind her. He says, I'm 63 and not in need of living assistance. That's good, Ray. Shout out to Sister Mashonda. She fires in here. She says, laugh all out. But Brother Ray's comment, he comes back again. He says, black needs crack. But he said he doesn't need any assistance.
Right.
And that's good. So he must be staying in shape, doing things around the house or around the yard, or even exercising, doing the best that he can. And that's the kind of mentality that you should have in this generation. And Nucci fires in here. She says, peace and blessings, family. We appreciate Nucci flogging in. Sister Marie fires in here. She says, my father is 97 years young. He does more on his own, such as walking, driving, texting, reading, and plays games on his tablet. He keeps moving. He has a lot of history. And she's spot on. That brother has been living on this earth for a while, and he's still driving. He's still walking. He has the right mentality to actually get up and get moving instead of sitting back and not doing much. And that's a good thing that she's saying, that he's still active and he's not just letting all this go by the wayside and not doing nothing at all. He's actually doing something about it. So that's a wonderful comment by her and her father as well, Grandpa Hamilton. We appreciate that. He says erroneous reasons why people are afraid of aging. Number one, because some people are afraid that the end is near. And
Come
number
on,
two,
Chazz. Come on, Chazz.
well, no, it's true. And then number two, some people are afraid because, like you just said, we're laughing, we're saying black don't crack, but on a few of us, and this is no knock, a lot of us our looks start to disappear a little bit, and that is another reason why we're afraid of aging. Which, here's the thing, we're going to do it regardless. It doesn't matter how you look, as long as you're able to walk, talk, read, and get yourself back and forth to your appointments, you're fine.
Chazz, that's true. We're talking for those who just joined us, and you should be a part of this discussion. How in the hell can you be a citizen of the United States and have a family and not be able to enjoy this beautiful conversation about these reasons that people are afraid of getting older? Chazz and I are debunking everything that people are saying about aging. We're debunking that. Our seniors don't need to be talked to or talked about like they're trash, like they're garbage, like they're manure. We should be encouraging people. Being older is a blessing. Being older is something that we should be happy. We should want to live in our golden years. But our mindsets are so messed up. That's why we want to try to be young and buy all this dye so we can look younger and not do what we really need to do. We're not eating properly. But let's continue to talk about these erroneous reasons, Chazz, and we're going to debunk these reasons as we continue to go. So take it away.
Letter E. No one will care about me when I'm older. That's sad. And I have to agree with it sometime, because just think about it. A lot of elders aren't cared about, especially if they go to the nursing home. Nobody's checking on them. The only people that they get are the caregivers that are coming in there, taking them, giving them baths, giving them food, giving them water. But for the most part, most of us don't care about them. So I would say on this one, no one is kind of exaggerating a little bit, but to some extent it is true, brother. No one really cares about them when they get old, because we feel like, as we said earlier, they're useless, they can't do much, they're old, and we just want them out of the way. So
it's shame on us, Chazz, because we're going to flip this over. This is one side of the record we're playing, but let's debunk that and play this side of the record.
Loving relationships don't disappear with age. Many older adults maintain strong social ties and even build relationships and support networks.
Yeah, they do, Chazz. They really do, because a lot of people have people that love them. We really do. But, some of us, we have a wrong attitude when it comes to aging. And our kids should see that aging is beautiful. But what do? These comedians that we like to look at, these rap artists that we like to listen to, they talk about the older, they make fun of the elder, and we sit there and we laugh with them, we agree with them, we tease them. You see, this is how our society has become now, see? We have made fun of them, and this is why a lot of our older people say things like this, or they think this way. This is not true, but this is how many of them think. They really think no one will care about them, but there are many people who do care about them, and that's why these loving relationships, as I'm going to show right here, here is a loving relationship, Chazz, and it's going to show us that, look at that. People still have some type of togetherness, man. We got to stop this nonsense, and we got stats if we get to today. We got stats to show that a lot of us older people, we have the right mindset. It's just some of us who have had rough lives, as they say. We've come up on the rough side of the mountain. Everything that has happened to us, and now our outlook on life is terrible. We don't have it. We don't look at these sisters. They're smiling. They look like they're having some type of great embracing. A lot of us, Chazz, don't have those days anymore. When are we going to have those days? When most of us are old and grumpy. And let me say this, and I'll turn it back over to you. I'm going to tell you how we are when we get older. A lot of us, especially us African Americans, we don't want to be bothered, Chazz. Yeah. And I'm going to take that to my grave. Yeah. We talk about love. We talk about friendship. We talk about unity. We talk about all these things. But, Chazz, we don't want to be bothered, man. And that is an indictment upon us. We don't want the hugs. We don't want to be. We want to get in our little corner and mope, complain, murmur, gripe, You know, that's all we want to do is bellyache, man. But these sisters showing you that people care about people still, man. As
Yeah.
rotten as many of us are, people care about us still, and we got to start saying that.
Yeah, well said. Sister Mashana fires in here. She says, Marie, that's great. Oh, she's talking about the comment she made about her father. Brother Ray fires in here. He says, everybody wanna be grown, but nobody wants to get old.
True,
That's
that's
true.
true.
That's absolutely true.
Now,
And
see,
that's like it.
go ahead, Chaz. No, go ahead, Chaz. You got it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's just the thing about life. There's nobody that can be one age throughout their whole entire life. You're gonna get old and just accept it. And even though you may not have the money to do some of the supplements that some of these rich people may have, so what? Be thankful for what you do have.
You know, these comments are so profound. They're teaching me a lot tonight. Sister Nikita, Sister Mashonda, Sister Marie, Brother Raymond, and all those, Sister Nuji, all these people that's chiming in. You know, I think it's important, man, that we look at these statements. See, these statements are profound. Sister Nikita gave us a profound statement earlier, and now Brother Raymond giving us one. He says, everybody want to be grown, and that's true, but nobody wants to grow old. Something is wrong with our minds, man. And this is why a lot of us, like, and I'm not really picking on this person, but Smokey Robinson, you know, he's about 90 years old, and his hair is black. His hair is black as the screen. Now, who eats his own? You can do what you want to do with your hair, but you still that age. You're fooling yourself, man, or getting your face tucked, pulling things back, trying to look young. Inside of you, you're still this age. So again, Chaz, tonight as we talk, we're talking about, to those who are just joining us, erroneous reasons why people are afraid of aging. And we're just going down the list and we're debunking these reasons. And Chaz, here's another one that I want us to start with.
It's too late to make a difference. No, it's not. As long as you have breath, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're able to walk and move around, there's never too late. The only time it's too late is when you literally shut your eyes and you go in that casket and you go 6 feet deep. That's the only time that there's too late. Other than that, it's never too late. So I'm not you. I'm just in for the comment for people who think like this. Stop thinking like that. Debunked. Many older people have achieved great things later in life, writing books, starting businesses, or advocating for causes. Yes, absolutely. I hear all the time on the news, brother, where you hear some of these elders are going back to college, they're getting these degrees. Some of these elders are going back to school, getting some degrees and things like that. So those are things that they've tried to do when they were younger. They stopped for whatever reason, and then they picked it back up when they were 60 and 70. So that goes to show you that that's not true about you can't get better when you get older. So
I gotta put this screen. I gotta put this image up again because I'm trying to just instill this in all of us. We gotta stop the stupid stuff. We gotta stop the dumb stuff, Chaz. We gotta stop telling our elders and making them feel unwanted when they age. We gotta stop thinking ourselves as we get older. We gotta stop thinking that this thing is there's no use for life. We got to stop thinking that, you know, I'm no good to society. We got to stop going in our homes, in our apartments, barricading ourselves. You're just sitting there. Chaz, this is one of the worst things we could do, is to barricade ourselves and not want to enjoy people. Look at this. That's beautiful, man. And just look at this. One of the things that I want to say, and I want to show you another image. Look at this. I haven't seen a smile in a long time. I'm talking about older people. We're so bitter, man. We're so angry. This is something that we must address. It's beautiful to get old. It should be. It's wonderful to get old. It's a fantastic thing to get old. Here's a middle-aged woman looks like, and she's showing all her 32s. We don't have pictures like that in our homes anymore. All our pictures got a mug shot that look like we're ready to holes of somebody's face. We don't smile. We have some internal issues that we have to deal with, Chaz. And I think these images are just images to show that a lot of us, we have that same mindset.
Brother Raven fires here. He says, Smokey is as old as Methuselah.
Well, you know, and we're having fun with this, but the point of the matter is, this is how people feel. Here's another point we're going to debunk. This is what people think, Chaz. What does that say?
Aging only brings sadness and decline, and that's not true either. Like we just mentioned, when you're older, sometimes people go back to school, they get their high school diploma, they get degrees, they get businesses. There's a whole bunch of things that they do. They go back and become they get grandchildren, and they try to tutor and mentor them. So there's all kind of things that you can do as you get older. So I totally disagree with this one as well too, brother.
Yeah, and I'm going to get back on that, but let's debunk that now.
Aging can bring peace, self-acceptance, and joy. Many find more emotional stability and greater appreciation for life with age. Absolutely, you should sit back and look at your life and say, you know what? I've accomplished this. I accomplished this. I didn't get to do that. That's okay. I'm fine with what I did in life. There's going to be some things that I didn't achieve, but so what? And I'm glad to still be living. I'm still able to think. I still got my eyes. I still got my teeth. I still got so many things that are looked over that you should be thankful for. So that's a good thing as you get older, when you sit back and reflect over how your life is played out.
I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again this week. Most of us have that mindset. We've been so contaminated in our thinking. We've listened to these songs. We looked at these movies where we want to stay young forever and we're never going to get older. And we listened to Tyrone Davis. If I could turn back the hands of time. That was a song he had. If I could turn back the hands of time. You can't turn back the hands of time. You know, right. Except who you are. Aging only brings sadness and decline for those people with that mindset. If you feel that way, it's going to bring sadness. If you're like Slebrock, woe is me. Every time you look around, it's a problem. It decline. My health is declining. Do something about it. You see? Yeah. And I think the problem is a lot of us allow our family, our life, our personal problems, Chaz, because we all have them. Our personal problems bring sadness. It's not so much aging. All the crap we put up with since we were children and middle age, and now we're older, that stuff has caught up with us, Chaz, and it has done a job on our mind. So it's not a matter of aging bringing sadness and decline, because we're debunked that. We've been showing pictures of people like this who are happy and they're not sad, and we know that we all have issues, but for the most part, we got to start turning the page and letting people know that these reasons that they're giving for aging, these reasons are not valid, man. They're not valid at all, because this is something that we definitely have to deal with.
Sister Sharon Fires in here. She says society set the tone for that. They absolutely did. They set the tone for it, and I think a little bit of it is too far gone, to the point where some of us are going to listen to this and let it go out the other ear. But this media, the newspaper, the movies, all this stuff that they did to us about how it's a sin to get older. It's a shame and a disgrace to get older, and you should always look young. These are things that society has put on us, but I totally disagree. And this is a spot-on comment by the sister, where she's basically saying society has done a job on us. They brainwashed us.
She's right. But see, I'm going to add to that from Sister Sharon. I'm going to add to that. Now, she says society set the tone for that, and she's right. But we got to take it back, man. People like you and I and all of us, we got to start debunking that stuff when we hear that crap. When we hear comedians teasing our elderly, making fun of them, we shouldn't be laughing. We should straighten them people out. We should straighten people out that talk about our elderly like that. You know, we should stop that. And secondly, all you got to do, you could tell that our minds are gone, is because when you get some new clothes, and they're young clothes, because, you know, we all have a dress code. You know, an old guy, when he wears a wife beater and his hair is coming out of his chest, and it's a different color, he walks a certain way. Or if he gets some clothes that young boys wear, and everybody comments and say, man, you look good, he gonna try to walk like he's young, but he's old now. He can wear what he wants to wear, Chaz, okay? He can wear what he wants to wear. But because psychologically he's got on these clothes, he thinks he's younger, and so he doesn't want to be the person that he is. So he goes out and buys the dye. He buys the zoot suits. He buys the conch. He buys all of these glasses. He buys all these shoes. So he's thinking in his mind that he's not who he really is. This, my friend, is erroneous, but this is where we are. And she's right, because society told him, go get that suit. Go get that zoot suit. Go get those shoes. Go get those tall socks. Go get all those Sagnum pants. You know, you still young. I don't want to go there, man. But this is what's happening because of these erroneous reasons, and we shouldn't treat our elderly like that, Chazz. And you know we shouldn't.
And I was going to take it 2 steps further before I get to Brother Ray's comment. Some of them are going out getting these young boy cars and getting tints in these windows, putting bass in their trunk, got these bling bling rims. Some of them are riding around the Harley Davidsons with their muscles on, and it's like this is crazy that they're going back to that. Brother Ray fires.
Go ahead.
Brother Ray fires, and he says, "Yep, I still got 32 teeth and 3 wisdom teeth. I can still bite." Yeah, and that's another thing with our elders. Not all, some of them have to get teeth and stuff removed, and that's a painful process. Some of their self-esteem is shot when that happens. So it's just a blessing. Like Brother Ray said, he still has his teeth. So for the elders that do have their teeth, that's a good thing as well as also.
Now let's put this one up, Chazz. Now we're talking tonight on Adults Only about erroneous reasons that we give to the elderly. We got to stop this. Here's another reason that we make our older people feel, and we got to talk about this.
Old age means loneliness.
Uh-oh.
I'll let you take it now, piggyback.
Okay, I want to say a few sentences on this, and then I'm going to go back and debunk it. But old age does not mean loneliness. Old age means virility. Old age means happiness. Old age should mean kinship. I can go on, but see, that's that progressive thinking that I'm giving. Old age doesn't mean loneliness unless that's what you are. A person who want to sit around, look out the window, have these negative thoughts, looking out saying, woe is me. I've never accomplished anything in life, thinking about the past, won't let the past go. I should have been this. I should have done that. So, of course, that's going to bring loneliness. You know, Chazz, this is a problem, but I'm going to let you debunk this, and then we'll continue to talk about that one.
Loneliness isn't limited to any age group. Many older adults have such social lives through community and hobbies. Absolutely. And especially like this sister here. She looks like she's in her probably 50s. She has a pet. She's having a good time with her pet, feeding her dog, making sure he's sheltered and having a good time with him. So, and once again, loneliness doesn't have to necessarily always mean the age. It's how you look at it. You could be a 20-something-year-old man and be so-called lonely, but it's how, like this sister here on the screen, she's having a good time with her dog, getting yourself active, doing hobbies, bicycling, going to yoga, doing all kind of things. The key part to this, brother, is my advice for all seniors, elders that are listening. As you get older, you have to stay active. You have to keep moving.
That's well said. All these prophetic speeches tonight, Chazz, that was prophetic from you, because if you look at this lady, regardless of what she's going through, she's doing something to bring her fulfillment. Many of us, we won't get a pet, Chazz. What we'll do is we'll sit around, we'll twiddle our thumbs, we'll think about our kids, we'll think about something, our health, we'll think about life, we'll think about our bills, we'll think about our economics, we'll think about all of the things that we didn't do. And so what that does is that crushes us. We won't go outside and walk. We won't drink water. We won't stay away from salt. We won't stay away from sugar. We won't eat fruit. And I'm talking about myself too. We won't eat fruit. We won't do things that's going to bring life, you see. So we have some issues psychologically that we have to deal with. And those who are watching this, you know people like this, and some of us may be like this. But what we're saying tonight on Adults Only is we got to stop this nonsense. Love who you are. I don't care if you have one tooth, because it ain't about everything still being there. Because some things shut down, some things break down. It's about you loving who you are at the age that you are and enjoying life. As we said this one, Chazz, and I want to put this back up again because I think it's time for us to read this one.
Not everyone is given the chance to grow old, so appreciate every single day of your life.
Appreciate it. That's all. Appreciate it, okay? And stop complaining. Stop being bitter. Stop being angry. Stop being mean. Do some of the stuff like this if you have to. Enjoy your grandchildren. And we got so much, Chaz. We're not going to get through all this today. Maybe we'll pick it up next week. But enjoy your grandchildren. Quit busting at them all the time. Quit cussing them out all the time. Quit demeaning them. Enjoy them, you see. So that should bring a joy to us. You know, there's so much that we as older people should be able to glean from. But we shrink, Chaz. And all of us have older people in our families. I'm old. We have older people. We should be loving them, telling them how much we love them, showing them that we love them. We've got to stop this. And this is the reason that a lot of us are in the situation we're in, because we're not enjoying life as we get older. Now we have a couple of comments, Chaz. So let's let's put this one up.
Sister Sharon Fires in here. She says, "Don't forget the ladies walking around in booty shorts." Man, that is a comment that can be talked about for years, and it's a shame. I'm surprised that they're actually doing this. I guess they feel like they want to compete with these younger sisters that are out there, but it's a shame and a disgrace where you can't go shopping nowadays or even go out and do daily things without seeing this foolishness.
Sister Sharon ought to cut that out, because I guess she feel like, hey, y'all firing away, I'm gonna fire away. We're doing this in love, but it's truthful though. That's right, because a lot of us, the ladies, I should say, some of the sisters, it's okay to buy some clothes, okay? Right. But when you're in your 70s, man, in your 60s, and your 50s, you shouldn't be wearing them hoochie things. You shouldn't be wearing those booty shorts that Sister Sharon is saying. Now you can wear what you want to wear, but come on, it's like what you're doing that for is you think that you're younger, but you're not. It's like at your age, because when we were younger, then you got the kind that gets older and they critique, they talk about all the young ladies, even though they're young. They're angry because they're not young, you see, and they're jealous because their bodies are not like they used to be. So now they're bitter. So they go to church, they go to the spiritual meetings, they go to the mosque, and now they're down. They're down on all
people. Ringing that up.
Because they're down on, I know how it works, Chaz. It's a disease. They're down on all people because they can't do what they used to could do. Even us guys, you know, we see a guy with a tank top that's in his 20s and he's cut, he's built. And instead of saying that brother has a nice physique, oh man, he probably on steroids. See, I'm jealous because my muscles have sagged, they dropped. So instead of encouraging him, I'm angry, and this is what we have here, man.
And I was just going to piggyback before I read Brother Ray's comment. And I just said this, and I'll just say it one more time. I think it's Sister Sharon's comment said, I believe that most of that has to do with the elders who are trying to compete with these young sisters. So they're saying, I see them doing it. Let me throw my hat in the ring and see if I can too. But it's a crying shame. Brother Ray Fires in here. He says, even though I'm alone, I'm never lonely. That's good, Ray. You find the things to do. You're not sulking. You're not sitting around depressed, angry, closing the blinds, not going outside. I'm pretty sure you're reading, exercise. You're doing something to keep yourself busy, and that's a good thing to do. You have to keep that mindset as you steady to get older. So that was a good comment as well.
That brother, and you know, I'm not gonna say that he's not ever on. Ray's on many times, but tonight he's hitting the bullseye. He's hitting the bullseye. That is prophetic. He says, even though I'm alone, I'm never lonely. See, this is something that we should stay on this. Chaz, let's do another week on this, because we still have a lot. We still have 15 minutes to go, but let's do another week on this because there's so much more to say.
Sister Mashonda Fires in here. She says, choose joy. That's right.
Choose joy instead of bitterness, like I was saying, and quit moping. Now, we all have our times. We all have our times, Chaz, okay? Hold on for a second. We all have our times. But quit walking around with our tail between our legs, you know, just looking sad. We got to snap out of this thing, Chaz. And like she says, you got to choose it. I don't care what you're going through. Choose joy, especially when you're older. You don't want to have depression. You know, you don't want to have that. But you have to choose joy. And then Ray comes back with this.
He says, them cougars. Yeah. And I'm going to go back to Sister Mashonda's comment. Like she says, choose joy, because a lot of people, their cortisol, I'm talking when they get older, their cortisol levels are going up. Their stress levels are up. They can't pay some of these bills. And these are all things that if you bottle all these up, you keep stacking these things up one on top of another, you're going to have something bad happen to you where you can have a mental breakdown, a stroke, anything like that. So that's why it is important, like she commented, to choose joy.
Let me say this before you read that, Chaz. Let me say this before you read that. We have to be fragile with our older people. We really do. Their bodies, their minds are different. So we should be fragile with them. We should be encouraging them. We should be doing things for them. We should be making them feel loved. That's our responsibility. See, we shouldn't be on a stage cracking on people who are in their 50s or 60s or 70s, or people who may not have a physical appearance that we want. We got to stop this. This is what has happened to us, as Sister Sharon said. The system has done this to us, but we have allowed it to do that to us. You can take it away from here.
Reasons why people are terrified of getting older. And fear of being a burden. Many don't want to be a burden. Their children or loved ones with caregiving responsibilities. My thing is, it shouldn't be a burden. If you are older and elder, you were 60, 70, and vice versa. They took care of us when we were kids, so it should be the same for us. We should be able to make time out of our busy schedule to take care of them, take them to the little appointments, pick their prescriptions up, or whatever they may need. So it shouldn't be a burden. And for that mindset, not you, brother, but for people to think like that, that goes to show you how far society has fallen. To any time where a parent or a grandparent says they feel like they're a burden because they're asking their grandson or granddaughter to do something, that is a crying shame. And some of them are afraid. And like I keep mentioning, there was a sister, I would never forget this comment. She asked her grandson or somebody you said next door to go and pick up or cut her grass or something. And this man said something so explicit to her that he needed his butt whipped right there on the spot. And he said this to an elder. This is some explicit stuff I can't repeat, but you know what he said. It's just that this is where society is going.
Yeah, it is. You know, you guys are really teaching me tonight. This is what I like about this broadcast. I mean, all of this prophetic language with, you know, Sister Marie, Brother Raymond, you know, Sister Nikita, and on down the road, Sister Mashonda. You know, you guys, man, are you yourself included? You know, you guys are sharing. Y'all are dealing with this issue, and this is what a broadcast should be about. It shouldn't be about you and I flapping all night and all day, telling everybody where they went wrong. It should be about us all together, putting in our 2 cents to help the situation that is a dire situation, because our adults, man, our older adults, they are struggling. And like you said, many of them don't want to get old because they don't want to burden their children. And the reason they're saying that is because their children are no good. Let me just put it out like that.
Man.
If you are telling your parents that they are a burden to you, you're no good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to politicize it. You're no good. They've raised you, helped you, fed you, clothed you, and now because you have to help them buy their groceries a little bit, or their medicines a little bit, or be around them, or you pick up the phone and call them, and you're making them feel like they're a burden, or every time they ask you to do something, instead of you smiling and doing it, you doing this. Oh. Oh. You know, see, we don't like to talk like this. We want everybody to think that everything is good, Chaz. But some of our adults, our older adults, Chaz, they don't want. They would rather ask a stranger than to ask their own children because of the way they've been treated.
That just goes to show you how far society has fallen.
Here's another reason why people are terrified of getting older.
Number 2, regret. Aging may bring reflection on missed opportunities or unfulfilled dreams. Yeah, we sit back and we sulk. We wish that we would have took some chances. We wish that things would have worked out. But hey, that's life. Even though they didn't work out the way that you wanted them to be, it may be a good thing that they didn't work out, because you don't know what could have been on the other side of that so-called dream that you were chasing. So there's a good thing, and I do believe that sometimes things don't work out for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that sometimes, but some of us are taking that and we're dwelling in it. We're depressed. We got to get on antidepressants. We don't take our phone. We're not taking our meds and stuff now, because all these things are just stacking up one on top of the other, and it's a snowball storm.
You know, Chaz, I think we're going to stop here because we only have 10 minutes left, and we're just going to talk. We're going to put, this is our last point. We have many more, so just relax, y'all. Those of you who are watching this broadcast, We're going to finish it up next week. So please tell someone and come back, because you're getting older yourself. I'm an old man as well. So this is medicine. So tell someone about this, and let's continue to have this discussion. But I want to talk about this here. I'm going on a coughing spree again, but I want to say something about this point. This regret, Chazz. What you have done in the past, you have done in the past.
Right.
What you're doing now, you are doing now. You cannot reach back into the past and bring something to fruition. It's over, man. Accept the fact that you gave it a good try. I gave it a good try. It didn't work, or it worked back then, and now you're too old to keep it going. And accept the fact that those missed opportunities are just that. It was an opportunity that we missed, or this unfulfilled dream, okay? We can't live these dreams that are unfulfilled. So we shouldn't have any regret when we get older. We should be happy that we are who. See, this goes back into dealing with ourselves, man. When we're happy with ourselves, we won't have regret. We won't have to go down memory lane and keep thinking, hoping that we can turn back the hands of time, like Tyrone Davis said in his song. You know, these are the things, Chazz, that are really problematic. And I think we really need some help. Some of us do, because we shouldn't live in regret, man. And those who are still in relationships or friendships, there's a beautiful picture right here. Beautiful picture. Maybe they have health problems. Maybe they have financial problems. Maybe they have children problems. But we can read into this and make this picture be a man and a woman. He's happy, it seems. She's happy. It looks like they're at a park. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
When are we gonna have people comment on, I went to the park last week and I just walked around. I heard the birds chirping. You let me use your basketball. I'm going to shoot that basketball this week. Now I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play 5-on-5 and act like I'm back in my 20s and all that. But I'm gonna go to the park and just shoot it. I can do it, and I appreciate you letting me borrow that ball, because that's something that I should do. See, but we got to be more. We have to be more open, and we have to be more honest, man.
Yeah, and even on this picture, I think we're so used to dysfunction, even through the media. Once again, they painted this picture of Ike and Tina Turner fighting all the time. And people got a kick out of that. We were obsessed with them. And here's a couple, like you said, they may have a situation that we don't know about that may not look so good, but they're not wearing it on their sleeve. They're not frowning in public. They're having the best time that they can. And the thing about it is, we all have issues, but they're not going around with it all on their faces to where you're afraid to speak to them because you think they may snap on you. But this is a good picture by these elders, and seems like they're having a good time. Brother Ray Fire's in here. He says them chair exercises really works.
Yeah. See, all these are encouragements, you see. And I'm telling you, we have to be committed to excellence. And that's all this is. Hey, here's a tip. Get in a chair and find out what you can do and what you can't do. Do something, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Sister Sharon says uplifting each other. Absolutely. We have to. Listen, as a black people, most of the audience here that are listening are black. There may be Hispanics or whoever that may watch this down the line. This applies to them as well. But mostly for us blacks, we've got enough against us. The police, the government, all these obstacles that are against us. And what this sister said, we need to keep practicing is uplift each other. We already have too much going against us, and we should uplift each other to try to make a change and be positive. And like you said, brother, that's what this thing is all about, is uplifting.
And she's that's prophetic as well. Everybody's shooting off. We may never have a night like this. This is a classic. We may never have a night like this because all these comments are just pertinent, you see. Like you just mentioned, we tear each other down too many times, man. Every time I turn on the TV or the cell phone and look at something, somebody is berating somebody else. Somebody's talking about somebody's mama or somebody's father. Somebody is making fun of somebody because of their physical ability. Somebody is saying something that's just mean. Some sister is mad with another sister. We got to stop this nonsense. And I know they're not going to stop because you and I are bellowing this out tonight. but the concept, the ideology is true. We need to start uplifting one another, man, instead of tearing each other down all the time.
Brother Ray says they have apps that provide you with mental exercise. That's good. All kind of things he's talking about. Chair exercises. He says they have mental apps. And then he says he's also going to start taking Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He basically what he's saying, all he's saying is, I'm finna exercise my mind. That's beautiful, man. I'm not gonna sit around and complain. We have enough complaints, and we should complain with the complaints that we have. That's the way we're being treated. We never say we don't complain, but we're talking about in context tonight. Those of us who are older and those who we know that are older, we should not look at life the way we look at life, Chazz. Life is beautiful, man. We should be, as they say, in our golden years. We should be just riding off into the sunset. We always want to look at movies and it says they lived happily ever after, but ours is not like that. And I told you last week I was going to say this, and I'm going to say this now. One of the main reasons, and we don't have a point for, but I just want to say it. One of the main reasons that we are the way we are with our mindsets when it comes to aging, we don't want to die, Chazz.
Yeah.
We do not want to die. We know that it won't. We know that it's coming close. The sun is setting. We see the sun going down, and we know 20 years from now we will be gone. So that starts to bother psychologically. See, instead of embracing every day that comes along, and like you mentioned one day, some of the religious folk, they know they haven't been doing and living the way they said. So now they are afraid to meet the things that they said they were going. See, all this plays in the picture now.
Right.
Life tells you that you're born and you're going to die. That's a beautiful thing. We shouldn't shrink back at it. But see, we're scared now, Chazz. We're shaking in our boots. We are shaking in our boots, man. So what I'm telling you now, let's continue to talk about this next week, and let's begin to talk about the things that we should do that's going to help us with life. And a lot of it, I want to talk about the mindset like Brother Raymond has been doing lately. I want to talk about that mindset because that's where it's at. It's the mind, man. It's inside of us. That's why we think the way that's why we're afraid. Just like Sister Sharon said, that's why we want to emulate society, because we don't want to get old, but we are getting older. Gray hair is beautiful. Don't try to cover it up. Now, if you cover it up because you have a problem with your head or something, that's one thing. But to make yourself look young, but you still 90 years old, Chazz. You're still 80-something years old. But you're not working out. See, you're not doing her dad is doing. You see. Yeah. So Chazz, this is crazy.
Read Brother Ray's comment. I was going to ask you something. He says they're living in never ever like Peter Pan.
Never ever land like Peter Pan. That a fiction, you see. But you were going to ask me something, you said?
Oh no, I was just going to say, let me know how it goes when you shoot around, get your practice jump shots in. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, you may see me on the news later on that night, but I'm gonna give it a shot though. But I think it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to talk about all these images that we showed today. Just reflect on it. Here's a person he's studying something. Here's a young lady that's doing something. Take this stuff to heart, Charles. Reflect on these images. So, Chazz, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I think we got another comment, y'all. But I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Brother Ray Fonzie says, "You think he's gonna be smelling like being gay?"
Well, I like this broadcast because we take ourselves seriously, but we have fun, and we be able to have fun instead of getting bent out of shape because people are having fun with us. You see, Shimhotep to Grandma. But again, Chazz, I'm gonna let you take it away. But all I gotta say is this has been a wonderful broadcast. I'll bring some stats. We'll bring some stats next week to show how we're optimistic as a people. Even though a lot of us don't think so, a lot of us, we are optimistic. It's just a few of us, and when I say a few, that's a lot of few that have that mindset about aging. But we'll look at some statistics that talks about how we look at life, and we have the right mindset. We just got to do it. So to those who watch this broadcast, please tune in next week at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. So you know what time we start. If you didn't get a chance to see the whole broadcast, go back and watch it again. I think it's fantastic that we got our audience involved tonight. These are some wonderful comments. I love engaging with our audience. This is a pretty good show, Chazz. Even though we don't have 1 million people we have, they're engaging. And I just appreciate them, and I want them to know that. So I'll let you put this out here for your last speak. So I'll see you next week, man. I'm going to give you the floor. I'm out of here. It's on you.
I appreciate you for having me on. I appreciate all the comments that we got today. Sister Sharon, Brother Ray, Sister Nikita, all you guys. If I'm forgetting one, forgive me. But all you guys, I appreciate you for logging in. But tonight was an interesting broadcast. It was about not wanting to get old. It's going to happen in life. The problem is we have to do something about it. We can't just sit back, lay in the bed, watch TV, not go outside, not get exercise. The whole point about this is you have to keep moving. You have to be reading. You have to do something to keep the mind and the blood pumping. Next week, we're going to touch up some of the other comments and then touch up some of the other topics that we left out on. But once again, even some of the pictures that we saw today, hopefully they inspired you guys. Some of the elders, they're still riding in school. Some of the elders that are still making the best out of their lives while they're still living. And to not be so much of a Debbie Downer. You should be thankful to be older. Once again, there's a lot of children and kids and teenagers leaving this earth at an early age. So if you are able to live to your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, be thankful for that and try to make the best of it. I hope to see you guys next week. Appreciate everybody that logged on today. Take care, everybody.